Mikasa Sukasa. You Eddie, right?
Yeah.
Look like Eddie Guerrero, man. You like to watch wrestling?
Yep.
Have you ever watched wrestling? On weed? That's the way to see it, man! It's rock!
What up, world? It's your boy Physics, and you know what time it is. It is the Royal Rumble weekend, and welcome to the January 28th episode of the WoW News Joint. On today's episode, we're talking about the Royal Rumble, Disney and WWE's new partnership, a Triple H update on his involvement with NXT, Finn Balor, and more right after this. Shout out to everybody in the Wild Nation that is here. Alex, what's up? Gruss, what's up? Everybody that's in the chat room, please show love throughout the whole time. Make sure to hit that like button. And then also, if you're watching this on a replay, comment on what you think is going on with the Royal Rumble and everything else we're talking about today. Kid Get Money, what's up? It is Christmas time because it is Royal Rumble time because Legalo says it is the best WWE pay-per-view. Kid Get Money in the building as well. Gruss says, my sources tell me that almost got the Rumble on lock. I hope your sources are wrong. Screw friends and family. We have the Rumble. So here we are, and let's go. For our first news story of the day, it is the Royal Rumble weekend, baby. So I wanted to break down all the news surrounding tomorrow's event because it's on a Saturday for the first time ever, and that kind of throws everything off. But we here. We're going to be living in it. We will be getting super spoilery, so I wanted to start with the least likely to happen to things that are locked in. I will give you a heads up in case you want to skip the rumors and move to a different section. Now, let's start with the least likely. During a recent Instagram post, BT Sports WWE, which is the home of WWE in the UK and Ireland, teased the idea that a top New Japan Pro Wrestling star could appear at the Royal Rumble. The social media post was all about 6 things that could happen this Saturday. One entry questioned whether IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Okada could appear in this match. Yes, I said it. Okada. It said Okada kicks down all sorts of doors, metaphors, and follows in the footsteps of AJ Styles by making his WWE debut in the Royal Rumble. Now, is this going to happen? Most likely no. But if I was running it, it would have happened because look, this is the thing. We already know they're working with Impact. New Japan Pro Wrestling is working with Impact. If you really want to kick down the forbidden door, get in the actual champion, because AEW did not get Okada over there, but getting the actual champion to show up would be huge. Shit, getting Bullet Club to show up and having the Bullet Club, having Finn Balor in the ring, having AJ Styles in the ring, maybe Tama, maybe Switchblade all in the ring together for a moment would be a huge thing. That would be the real forbidden door moment, especially happen on WWE. But like I said, it's not like it's gonna happen. Alex says nobody knows him in the US. I don't know about that. This is the thing. Everybody, if nobody knew about him, nobody would know about Omega because they are synonymous with each other. The reason that New Japan got so big was because of Okada and Omega, and having him show up for one night only would be the case. Gruss says he'll get done like Nakamura. I doubt that because I don't think it would be a long time thing. He just show up, be in it for a while, get knocked over the ring, and we probably will never see him again unless we get some special matches of something like Nakamura versus Okada or AJ Styles versus Okada or a triple threat match between Okada, Nakamura, and AJ Styles. You know, we just throwing stuff out there. But I feel like that's the least likely to happen. But if it was, that would be the most talked about moment of the week. Now, moving on to something that could have happened but will not happen is WWE reportedly offered a 2022 Hall of Fame induction to Jeff Hardy, but he turned it down. WWE released Hardy in early December after he reportedly turned down an offer of rehab from the company. This came after an incident in December 4th WWE live event in Edinburgh, Texas, where Hardy became sluggish as the 6-man main event went on, then tagged out and disappeared through the crowd with security following him. He was pulled from the road after that incident and then released. Matt Hardy later stated that he didn't feel like Jeff needed rehab at that point and that he was in a good place in his life. In an update, the Wrestling Observer reports that WWE Talent Relations head John Laurinaitis called Hardy a few weeks back to talk about possibly bringing him back for the Royal Rumble and offering him to put him in the 2022 Hall of Fame class. Hardy reportedly turned down the offer and asked for his drug test results from when he was released in December because he knew nothing would show up. Took Hardy and his wife Beth 6 weeks to get the results back. Obviously, we haven't heard anything, so nothing showed up. There is a feeling that Hardy is one guy that WWE does not want in AEW because they realize the Hardy Boys tag team will be revitalized with so many teams in AEW to work with. Jeff and Matt have already started accepting indie and signing dates together. Hardy is under contract to WWE through Wednesday, March 9th, when his non-compete clause expires. So AEW can't make a legal offer to him until then. But the belief is he will be in AEW. This was a dumb move on their end. First of all, if you're going to do the Hall of Fame, you do not do the first Hall of Fame with any Hardy without both of them going in at the same time. I'm pretty sure Jeff, off principle, said no because of that. And due to being in a Royal Rumble, he said no because of that. If you didn't want him to end up in AEW and revitalize the whole tag team division there, then you shouldn't let him go. You should have waited, look at the test, see what was going on. If nothing showed up, which seems like that's most likely the case, then you move on. But you fired him. Now you're in this position, and now we know exactly what's going to happen once March 9th hits. That is a Wednesday, so I would not be surprised if he showed up that night. So, yeah, dumb move by WWE, but, here we are. Now, let's talk some entrance talk. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock right now. We got 5 minutes on the clock. So if you want to skip this on a replay, skip 5 minutes. Or if you are live, come back in 5 minutes if you don't want to know who's going to actually be showing up. And we're doing this in 3, 2, 1. Asuka has been discussed as a potential entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match per Fightful Select. Their story says several talent believe Asuka will return Saturday. Fightful also says Kairi Sane's name has been pitched backstage as a possible Rumble entrance, which is very, very, very interesting because it seems like she is completely done. But if she's going to do one more, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if that was going to be the case. Fightful also says Dakota Kai and Io Shirai are scheduled to be at SmackDown this Friday. They are speculation they could be entering the Rumble. On Wrestling Absorber Radio, Dave Meltzer mentioned that men and women from NXT will be on hand this weekend as alternates in case any planned participants are unable. That's most likely going to be due to the cause of what's going on outside in the real world, and just if something crazy happens tonight and then you have to replace somebody, we at least have something there. According to Ringside News, both Shane McMahon and Bad Bunny will be in a men's Royal Rumble match on Saturday night. PW Insider notes that Melina, Cameron, and Oksana will be in a women's Royal Rumble match. So there's 21 for each. That means 23 for the men have been confirmed. 23 for the men have been confirmed. Melina, Cameron, Oksana, and Ronda Rousey. That's 4 right there. That's 25. So we have 5 that we have no idea who else is going to show up. Per Fightful, Kurt Angle is scheduled to be in St. Louis this weekend, which is the site of the Royal Rumble 2022. It's unclear if it means he will be one of the surprise entrants in the Royal Rumble, or if this could even lead to a longer-term return to WWE television for the Hall of Fame star. We all know he was there as a wrestler. He was also there as one of the heads of Raw. We all know the famous picture of Triple H punching him with his hands in his pockets. So we have all of that going on, and it seems that he will be there. Is true. Is damn true. And WWE television says Veer is still coming. Val Venus. Money shot. But multiple sources in WWE Creative told PW Insider that Veer won't be popping up at Royal Rumble this weekend. Let's say what we got. WWE. Alex says WWE are so terrible. I'm only here to rumble. Of course, Elias return will happen. That seems like a most likely thing. Also a most likely thing is, our buddy, since we already kind of mentioned him in this whole thing. Shinsuke Nakamura seems to be on his way back. He put on his Instagram that it's official. I was cleared to fight. He is in he will be at SmackDown tonight. We don't know if we will see him, But if he is cleared, it's guaranteed that he will be a part of the Royal Rumble. Because if that's the case, why else would you have him there? So we have Shinsuke possibly being there as well. And that's everything going down. I did that in about 4 minutes or so. So, those that skip 5 minutes, welcome back. But here you go. What we got? Laylo, where you at? Laylo ain't here. I'm the only one. I'm running all of this. This is my domain. You in my house. This is what I do. You're here. And as Alex says, we need Veer. We all revere Veer. And we need Veer here. This is where we are. But here we go. We're gonna go to the actual other news we have, and one of them is since Triple H's cardiac event. Nope, wrong one. Moving down. Wait a minute. Oh shit! Everything I wrote for the Royal Rumble, all of my news articles aren't here. Damn! How did that happen? All right, here we go. Found them. Since Triple H cardiac. Nope. How did that happen? See, this is what happens when you do stuff and then the computer hates you and decides not to save anything that you did. But off the top of my head, I can still remember some of the news stuff. So here we are. So one of the things I wrote about in the news is that Sami Zayn reported that he is happy to be back to the WWE, that he did sign a contract. He did this on a podcast that he did in French with his one of his fellow Quebecers. And in it, he stated, yes, it's true. Honestly, I don't know how people on the internet find this kind of information, but yes, it's true. I just signed for a few years and I'm really happy. My contract was almost over. They were interested in me staying. I wanted to stay. So it was no more complicated than that. It's not the first time I've said it, but I'm really happy with my role with the company in recent years, especially the last year and a half. I'm doing the best job of my career, especially in terms of my character. I don't know why people were really surprised. They have an idea in their heads that everyone in WWE is unhappy being there, unhappy with their role, that they want more or feel oppressed, or I don't know what. For me, I'm really happy with the role, and I can't wait to see what I'm going to be able to do in the next few years. I feel people forget that these are human beings with like families and things like that. And you also got to remember him as El Generico, all of the matches he put on Kevin Steen, everything from PWG, everything from what he's doing now. Like he did a lot. And for some people, they already put their dues in. They know how great they are. They know that when they're in the ring, they are must-see TV. They don't have to prove anything to anybody because they know how good they are. And I feel like when you're in that position, for most people, it's just time to cash in. And I feel like that's what he's doing. He's cashing in for his family. You're right, Alex. Yeah, El Generico and Sami Zayn are two different people. I'm just saying, I've never seen them in the same place, and they have the same type build. So I'm just saying it's possible that he is, but I know that El Generico is working on an orphanage. So you are right. So thanks for proving me wrong. Gross says, Sammy says, I got friends now. I need the bag. Yeah. Some people just need the bag at one point. It's like you put all this hard work in. Everybody knows how good you are. Now it's time to get paid for everything I've done over the years. When I was, running around on the road for $50 a match, this is time for me to go. It's time for me to get that cash. And he knows, as everybody knows, WWE contracts ain't guaranteed, baby, which means, hey, I can make this good amount of money for the next 3 months and then I can be gone. And you know what? After that 3 months, after that 3 months and 90 days, I'll just show up in AEW and get another check. So it's like I feel everybody's quick to the game to know that signing with WWE doesn't mean that you're going to be there for however many years you're technically supposed to be there. So everybody kind of knows, like, yeah, we're here for a good time, not a long time, and we're here for that MONEY. Moving own. WWE and Disney Inc.'s first of what could be a several international streaming deals. Yesterday, Deadline is reporting WWE has licensed the rights to their streaming content in Indonesia to Disney's Hotstar subscription service, which the Mouse House acquired along with several other Fox assets in 2019. The pact between the pact between Disney and WWE is the first streaming agreement between them, but the companies are understood to have held preliminary discussions for other territories. Disney is looking to add as many subscription drivers as it can on the way to its goal of 300 million to 350 million total streaming subscribers by the end of 2024. The two evil empires have met. So, and this is what I was talked about on Wednesday with NetCon. They're all about the money. And this is what kills me, because if you look at it, the way they cutting purse strings and acting like they have nothing, they have no money at all, and they're doing this. No, like they have profit upon profit upon profit. And WWE is just going to keep getting bigger. They're going for the global thing. This is why at the end of the day, when there's talks about AEW and WWE, ratings wise, they're competition with each other. Money wise, they are not competition with each other. WWE's game is not. It was wrestling at one point, it was sports entertainment at another point, and now it is just a capitalistic business. They don't care about wrestling. Wrestling is the last thing on their mind. The most things that are on their mind right now is how to make as much money as they can with everything that they are doing. And obviously, we can tell because of everything that has been going on between who's being signed, who's being fired, what people are being positioned in. If they don't see a long-term goal as far as how much money can be made out of whatever decision they make, then this is where we are. And unfortunately, it is sad state of affairs. Moving on, Vince McMahon reportedly wants WWE NXT star pushed. And who is that person? Joe Gacy. Gacy is currently the mouthpiece for Harlan in NXT 2.0, but he made mainstream headlines several months ago when WWE introduced his new woke character. Of course, the character has been toned down a little bit, but the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Vince wanted Gacy pushed because he believes that character will bring WWE mainstream publicity as it originally did months back. See what just happened there? That's exactly everything WWE does, is to make sure that it makes money at the end of the day. Like, not pushing Harlan, pushing Joe Gacy, especially Harlan, the person that y'all kind of put your prep project in of the things that you wanted to do, and it's Joe Gacy that's the one. All about the money. All about the money. And speaking of NXT, there are reportedly no plans for WWE Executive Vice President of Global Talent Strategy and Development, Paul Triple H Levesque, to return to run in the WWE NXT brand. Wrestling Observer Newsletter reports that there are no current plans for Triple H to return to run in NXT or to do any creative work in the company due to his health issues. I feel like we are at the point, because it's like he doesn't have to do anything physical. Like, he just has to sit in a seat and tell everybody what else to do. Like, you know how many unhealthy people have been running promotions in WWE and just promotions in general? A ton. Like, he doesn't have to exert himself. And I feel like we're at a point where I think that WWE is going to use his health issues to keep him away from NXT. I feel like that's exactly what it's going to be. They're just going to be like, well, just for your health, we're going to make sure that you're not a part of this, to make sure that you're okay, and yada yada. When there's nothing going on, but I feel like we're at this point because this is where we are. Grush says Triple H helped kill NXT. Now, I get it, Grush. You just say random things a lot, but I feel like when you say things like that, you need to further explain, because I feel like facts are not on your side on that. But Believe what you want to believe. Bruce Pritchard much. Yeah. 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 And also it's like not like Jim Cornette was ever the finest specimen in the world. No. So I feel like what games they're playing. And what's that we got on? Rio, our homegirl Rio, she has an arm injury that she suffered to the right arm. Rio posted a tweet Thursday evening showing her right arm in the swing, saying, "I'm taking a little rest." So it seems like we might not have Rio around for a little bit, which is another thing really to just everything she's done as far as um her in the women's division. After she, it just feels like once she got out of trying to get the belt, she just kind of disappeared, and now it just seems like injuries are just going to keep her away for a hot minute. And for the last news thing, and I feel like this was a thing that we kind of know, we kind of knew that felt like it was going to happen, but it didn't, and that was Finn Balor wanted to go to NXT. um and this is where we start with it. NXT UK. In a podcast with Mark Andrews, my love letter to wrestling, that's on I believe the BBC. He wrote that I actually pitched to go to NXT UK when they asked me to go to SmackDown, because I knew the time at NXT was coming to an end. It had been 2 years and I worked with everyone. There was not really much more I could do here. I felt the idea came to go to SmackDown, and I countered pitch with NXT UK, and they said, well, maybe in a couple of years, but we need you on SmackDown right now. For me, a move to NXT UK would have been the move. There's so many great guys there, obviously closer to home. I've been stuck in America for the last 2 years with COVID. It kind of heightened the feeling of isolation in WWE and in the bubble away from my friends and family. So there was kind of multiple reasons why I wanted to go to NXT UK. But the main one was guys like Noam, A-Kid, all these matches that I haven't really had a chance to put together. That was like the fresh challenge. And if you remember, the whole Imperium Finn Balor thing, that was like a back and forth thing. Like, Walter was in NXT UK, and, he was about to go travel over there to go face him. It just seemed like the natural progression was that, and especially him being NXT champion, was that he was possibly going to be the NXT champion and an NXT UK champion. That's what it looked like when it came to Finn Balor at that moment of his career. And, that's just exactly, it didn't happen. And I feel like it should have, because we all heard the rumors that Vince McMahon is not big on Finn Balor. Doesn't feel like he can make money off of him, which I just feel like is a lie and stupid. I feel like a lot of times WWE lies to themselves about how they feel what wrestlers can do. It's like Finn Balor was your first Universal Champion, and now you feel like he can't do anything. Like, what you have there. But it's the same thing they did with Daniel Bryan when he was there. They was like, we don't know what to do with him. He's no type of star. And it wasn't until he basically had to take the shit, and then we got exactly where we are. And then you did everything outside of moving the moon to have him be a part of WWE still. So wild out to yourself. But him being NXT UK would have been huge. But WWE don't know what they're doing. So we're going back to this. Triple H killed NXT. He said Triple H could have stood up to Vince if he wanted to. He just played a role. All right. So let's say you work for your boss and you stand up to him. What is that going to change? You either quit, which you also have a family and you have other things to pay for. You either quit, which then also you're married to the boss's daughter. That makes it a little interesting as well. So it's like there's nothing you can really do. Like, stood by, like, what could he have changed? Because at the end of the day, what is he going to do? He doesn't have the money to take WWE away from him. The only thing he can do is hopefully find a backer, pull a whole succession, and that somebody has enough money to buy WWE and then put him in the position that he needs to. That's really all you can do. That's technically how it works in huge corporations like this. Talking to somebody is just going to go like, okay, cool. All right, I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I own the company. You can't, like, he can talk as much as he wants to. Not going to happen. The only way that Triple H can get any power is, like I said, he needs to find another billionaire that loves wrestling that can talk Nick Khan into selling WWE. Because I feel like the sell of WWE is not in Vince McMahon's hands, it's in Nick Khan's hands. And if Nick Khan tells Vince, we have a buyer, Vince is going to go, all right. And then this is where we're going to be. So that's the unfortunate. Gruss says he could have went to ROH before the fall. If this is the thing, ROH was falling for months. Him going there was not going to stop them from falling. It still would have happened. So doesn't help. Doesn't help. I wish money could work like that, but it doesn't. But let's do some quick hits. Frank Kazarian has re-signed with AEW, reports PW Insider. I wonder if this is going to be as a backstage producer because I just don't see what they could be doing with him anytime soon. So I feel like that just might be the case. Wrestling Observer Radio's Dave Meltzer indicated the original goal was for Kenny Omega to return to AEW in March, but that timetable is now up in the air. He also said Omega battled COVID earlier in January. Glad that he's okay. But I hope we can see him soon. And Meltzer said the Raw weigh-in segment between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley was a work. Vince McMahon decided they had to stick to the exact weights that the ring announcers used for Lesnar and Lashley when they wrestle. All right. Speaking of wrestling, let's talk about what's going on tonight in wrestling because it is the Royal Rumble Go Home show. WWE Royal Rumble Go Home edition of SmackDown on Fox will air live tonight from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. WWE has announced 2 matches for tonight's show. The New Day's Kofi Kingston and Big E will team up to take on Happy Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss. Sonya Deville will return to the ring to face Naomi. Possibly face Naomi. We don't know if it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it back and put it on Royal Rumble for her first match. WWE has also indicated that Seth Rollins will be back on tonight's SmackDown for the final Royal Rumble build with the WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Of course, they're going to get everything together for tomorrow because it is the Royal Rumble weekend. Now, let's Rampage. Tonight's AEW Rampage episode on TNT will be a special Championship Friday Beach Break edition, which was taped earlier this week in Cleveland, Ohio. Tonight, we have Jon Moxley versus Anthony Bowens. We have AAA World Tag Team Champions FTR versus Brock Anderson and Lee Johnson. AEW TBS Champion Jade Cargill versus Julia Hart. And the AEW World Tag Team Champions Jurassic Express defend against Private Party. That's going to be right after SmackDown, so make sure you tune in. Thank you to everybody that's here. Alex says New Day deserves better. Well, Kofi Kingston also got cleared, so he could be popping up tonight. He is back on the road, so it looks like we might be getting an Xavier appearance tonight. This is the thing. The New Day are like, how I'm gonna put this. I feel like the New Day is one of the only bulletproof talents that are not named Roman Reigns. No matter what you do, they're gonna eventually get back to where they need to get back to. Even every time it looks bad, then we end up with one of them being the champion. Right now they're 2 out of 3. If somehow Xavier Woods ends up being a world champion, which would be highly surprising to me, they are already the best tag teams, one of the best tag teams of all time as far as WWE, but they might also be the best stable of all time. They might be the best stable of all time if all 3 could become world champions. Because outside of a group like Evolution, which they weren't together from the beginning, because I mean, most of them weren't even alive when Ric Flair was doing what he was doing. Like, the fact that they're still together because the Shield weren't together when they hit airy access of how great they were, like, that'd be great. But we will see. As Alex says, they are safe. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. I believe Laylo will be doing a live stream of the Royal Rumble. Be sure to check out the Twitter account at Wrestling on Weed. It's definitely going down with everything with the Royal Rumble. I hope there's huge surprises. Make sure to watch our predictions, because I make the craziest prediction that Moose from Impact is going to win. Is going to win the Royal Rumble. So yeah, I threw everything out there. So here we are. But make sure to tune in to see who will be the first champion when it comes to Wow Nation. Who's going to be your champion? Is it going to be Two-Face? Or are you going to have to acknowledge the tribal chief? Is it going to be Travis? Is it going to be Laylo? Most likely when it comes to Laylo, no. Is it going to be Physics? Who knows? But we all know who the best champion is and who makes sure that everybody is taken care of. And due to that, thank you for joining me. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We in here. I will see y'all on Monday. Y'all enjoy yourself. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the Royal Rumble and peace.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to know when we go live next. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling on Weed, and thanks for watching.